I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
Good afternoon, everyone. Jim Nix here with Terry Corbin. Just waiting the start of our game here between Kerri Einarson and Kayla MacMillan. Expecting a good one this afternoon. Einarson was victorious this morning, kind of pulled one out of the fire, and Kayla MacMillan lost a squeaker to Caitlin Laws 5-4. A little bit of news on the MacMillan team, Terry, as far as who they are and where they come from.
Yeah, they're a young and up and coming team by the looks of things. Sarah, the lead, Sarah Loken, she's 24 and she's the youngest, and Kayla MacMillan, she's 26. Sarah Daniels, Lindsay Debut, and Sarah Loken, they were with Clancy Grandy out of BC there last year, and Clancy's gone on to take a administrative position with British Columbia Curling, and so the team has recruited Kayla to skip the team. So yes, should be a good one. With Clancy at the helm, they did quite well last year. They were very, very competitive.
Yeah, it certainly doesn't hurt to have the rest of the team all intact, so they are all familiar with each other, and sounds like there's a little bit of familiarity between Kayla and one or two of these players as well from previous years. So yeah, we'll get started here. First end is looks like Kerri Einarson has hammer in the first end, and
she does.
Typical first rock for the MacMillan team. Went to the forefoot, went to the house, and Kerri will attempt to hit it. This one's hanging out a little bit, but should come up enough to get a piece. And it does.
Yeah, we noticed there in our earlier game today that we're missing that real late finish and bury that we've had in the past previous weeks.
Yeah, just a little bit different. It's yeah, it certainly, you can certainly bury, and you can bury around fairly tight guards, but it just takes a little bit of a different approach. And like you say, when you're trying to throw that weight that you want to just maybe move rocks back, and you got to get that finish on it, it's just not quite there. It just makes it a little more difficult for these teams to make those shots. But still looks like a pretty good surface, and looks like the rocks are sliding quite well, and sweepers are having to work hard out here, but at least the work is productive. So sometimes sweepers can work really hard and feel like they're just, all they're doing is working their brains out and not getting anything out of it. So it's nice when you're a sweeper, I think, from little I know about sweeping, to you know, to know you're having an effect.
Yeah, well, I mean, certainly just looking here and this morning, like, you know, we're talking like there's no curl, or I'm talking like there's no curl. I mean, there's a good 4 feet of curl.
Yeah,
It's
exactly. Yeah.
it's just I think it was last week. It was the finish was phenomenal. Like you could be over buried and you could still get to the stone. So
Yeah.
Kerri just deciding to go to the open side. That rock must be touching that center line, which means it's not allowed to be moved or removed.
Yeah, I understand a very strange game earlier today, and uh, in the sense that she was down early and then came back and then pulled it out at the end, but just a very odd game.
Yeah, that four ender really in the fifth end really helped.
Yeah, yeah,
And that was just I mean a costly miss by uh, third McDonald and then a miss on her last one. Um,
yeah. Kate's last one, yeah.
yeah,
Okay, only one rock in play, and Anderson's going to make short work of that with Joanne Courtney, I believe. Are we down to 4 stones? Or maybe,
yep,
yeah,
yep.
Joanne's first rock in the first end. So you can expect to see a bunch of that here for the next few shots, I would imagine. Or
Yeah, I would think
Anderson,
so.
even this early, I would figure that Einarson is probably trying to take this to the second end with hammer.
Yeah, I would expect they'll just run the rocks up and down. Well, I guess not up and down, but they'll run them up here
Yeah,
and get this end out of the way, basically.
yeah. Second stone for Kayla MacMillan's Lindsay Dubu, I believe. And she's being asked to play a short guard, real short guard. Looks like it's probably going to slide in. Well, maybe not.
Making a liar out of you already in the first
I
end, dude.
know, man, it hurts. It hurts. Anyway, it's okay as long as I stay awake. I'm good. The first time I ever
Yes,
did a game that started on one day and ends on another day, and that's only 8 minutes away from me in here in Atlantic, Canada. So,
we got to move east, buddy.
yeah,
It's not much better.
no,
It's 10:50 here in Ontario.
yeah. So Joanne Courtney, a bit of a mistake there, hitting that one on the nose gives Kayla MacMillan a chance to play a come around. So you might get to see a little action here in this end yet. And commented earlier today, it's going to be a little bit chilly out there. I don't know what the weather's like in Alberta these days, but a lot of the skips are wearing the bigger, heavy jackets, except obviously when they throw. But I was surprised how many are actually dressed much warmer than we usually see. Not necessarily true for the front end players, as one of our sweepers here playing in a short sleeve golf shirt or whatever.
Yeah, and I see Sarah Loken. She's down to her t-shirt as
Yeah,
well. But that might even be Joanne there. And no surprise that
no,
she's not wearing a jacket. Good shot here.
yeah, very, very good shot. Nice come around, slid just, well, not even behind the tee line, on the tee line.
Hmm.
Nice shot.
And I kind of I like this call too. Instead of just playing a kind of lightweight board shot and to remove it and roll over to the open side, she's elected to try and split that front one on that Joanne left in play and sit 2-3.
Yeah, certainly a good opportunity to do that. But Prix not going to do that though. Maybe she switched
No,
that call up while we didn't notice it. Gets a piece of the back one, doesn't quite remove it. That one kind of died pretty quick back there.
hmm
Fresh pebble, not a lot of play in the back 12 foot off the center line by 5 feet in the first end. So MacMillan going to come around this again. Sarah Daniels. His team plays out of Victoria,
hmm
BC. you haven't been, super nice place to visit, at least in the summertime. This one's coming in pretty good. Get a little bit more curl at the end.
It's really trying.
And that's pretty good. Are you looking at playing the run back, possibly?
Yeah, it's hard to argue with the success that this team has had in the last over the last 4 years. The one thing I guess if I were um, coaching this team, I'd like to see Kerri be a little bit more decisive and um, not I guess call the shots versus allowing kind of the team to have discussions.
That's the guard. Sorry, Terry.
No, just having so many discussions. I don't think Kerri doesn't have confidence. That's for sure. But she likes to involve a lot of, or she invites a lot of conversation over shots.
So Val Sweeting just ticks that guard, trying to go after the red one, and doesn't really get anything. Leaves red sitting 2. The center one, which is in a pretty good position here in the first end. Kayla's going to throw a guard on that rock. Einarson just in a little bit of trouble here in the first end.
Yeah, this again, they really made a liar out of us by having us talk about they're just going to run the rocks up the ice and get play in the second end, and all of a sudden red and Kayla MacMillan's team is sitting 2 and throwing.
Yeah, but it's not our fault. They nose hit one peel attempt, or one more or less peel attempt, so I'm going to let us off the hook on that one, Terry.
Oh, okay. I'm good with that.
If we hadn't missed that shot, we would have been doing what we said all along. So I would blame that one on Joanne, actually. That was Joanne Courtney's shot.
That's
right. We don't color that, but we'll see what happens here. So Kayla MacMillan, a lot of rotation on this. Looks like it's going to be pretty good. It just stops bouncing around a little bit. And it stops right there. It's perfect. Great shot. Kerri Einarson's going to now run the guard. And she's kind of looking to run it that way over the top of her red one, probably, to maybe get something off the back. Or to get the rock off the back. There's only one rock back there, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, these are those ones, like, you have to decide, what you really want to accomplish here. If you're playing the double, then, play the double. If you're just trying to peel it, then just make sure that that's what is going to be called, and everybody knows the call.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So the out turn. Kerri Einarson. Einarson, I guess, better way to say it. She makes the peel. Almost got exactly what she was looking at. To get another half an inch of curl. She was really just trying to make some contact with that yellow one, with a little bit of hopes of it maybe jamming on the back, but more importantly, just open that side. So she had both sides open for her last one. Kayla looking at throwing the biter on the 12-foot as a guard. Probably a good call in this situation. There's a couple of options here, but that's probably about as good as any. I always love those shots when you just try to just bite the 12-foot. Sometimes scare me a little bit, because if you go a foot deep, it's not good at all. But she just threw a really nice one, so I would expect her to be able to duplicate that.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, I'm kind of hoping that it's a just a biter on the top 12. I'm interested to see what Kerri would play. Probably the double, but it would just be interesting to see if she ever decided to draw for one and at worst out count the two biters. I
You
don't
know what?
see
I
that.
think, yeah, I think if she just bites the 12-foot, she just might draw it, Terry, because the problem with the double here is that if you don't make the double, you're giving up two. You're not just giving up one.
Yeah,
So I wouldn't be shocked to see her draw if all she has to do is hit basically the house to score to cut her down to one. I'll tell you what, that's pretty good shot for what she called, anyways.
yeah,
That might be close enough to go for the double though.
I think it is. Yeah.
And plus the fact you will get shot rock if you make the double, and you will be at second shot if you don't make the double. So as long as you hit it on the nose.
Hmm.
So I think we'll never find out exactly, but
And this is kind of what I was talking about. You know, a lot of discussion about the shot. Everybody seems to be involved, and um, I would just like to see Kerri be more decisive
sure.
and kind of show that leadership and say like this is what we're playing, or have the discussion between Val and herself and normally, I mean, if I'm in that situation, I'm just saying like, what do you like? What do you feel like throwing?
Yeah.
And then just acknowledge it and get ready. Where do we need the broom? You got this. Let's go, and we're off.
Yeah, I think that would be generally the consensus of everybody. Just in this team's case, even though the team is very different this year, they've had such great success that it'd be a little bit hard to convince them to change much. I think.
I
So,
know that's what I say.
yeah.
I mean, how do you argue with the
And
result?
Kerri is drawing here.
Hmm.
And I think she's going to be fine. She might even score. Might be a little heavy for a score. It's hard to tell when it bounces around and where's it hang on, and it does.
One, yeah.
So very nice draw by Kerri Einarson here in the first end, and she'll take a 1-0 lead after one in draw number 4 here at the Saville Grand Prix. We'll take a short break and be back in a minute.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's ice pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best brew in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
Gripper first.
Don't forget your brooms.
Yep, you got it.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's ice pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best brew in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
We're back. A very interesting first end after what looked like it was going to be a wide open affair. One nose hit turned around, Terry, and we had a lot of action.
Yeah, how many times have we seen one shot just change the total complexion of an end?
Yeah, for sure. And it really did that time. You thought maybe it might only be a short-term thing, but it went right through to the end, and Kerri Einarson had to draw against 3 in her last one, and she made it. And now Kayla MacMillan will get hammered after playing a very good first end for the MacMillan team. We'll see what they can put together here in the second end.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping that they're not shy about being a little aggressive. Um, Certainly, the first 4 rocks sometimes are placed in spots that change your strategy, but you know, it's hard to tell. But I'm gonna say that red stone may be biting the center line. It's hard to tell. Um, but as we've just as we've played on here in the spiels this year, this is a new rule where any rock that's placed touching the center line between the hog line and the house cannot be removed.
Yeah, I think it might be just off, but either way, Kayla MacMillan has chosen to draw the wings on this shot. Oh, she's on the corner. Okay, better call. That's good. I thought she maybe was just drawing open side to sit wide open. I didn't really love that. So Kerri now will play an out turn come around. The first one by Kristen Karwacki just went a little bit deep. This one's going to be Joanne Courtney throwing this one.
And I apologize. I thought that I thought Einarson had the red rock, because I mean I didn't see that yellow rock in the back of the in the hack there, but
it's all right. So this one's going to hit the guard. Just a sort of an example to follow up a little bit on what Terry just said. Now, it would have applied, is we 5 rocks now? Yeah, that would have applied on that shot. If that rock had been on the center line and moved off the center line, it would have been removed from play, or the shooter would have been removed from play, and that would have went back. But if it had moved it from being on one side of the center line but touching to the other side but still touching, it would have remained the way it is. So you can touch it, you just can't remove it off the line. So rarely would it happen that it wouldn't go off the line. But so anyway, we'll move down here to the second stones. Lindsay DeBoo, I hope we got her last name right. In turn, hit and roll. Gonna roll a little too far, or is it gonna hang around? I think it's gonna be good. A little bit behind the corner, maybe. Oh, it spun back. Did it ever spin back? Anyway, it was still a good shot. Lindsay made a nice hit and roll here. Just ended up finding the middle of the hole, as you will. So Courtney, we asked her to move that one, and hopefully maybe make that same little roll the other way this time. Get behind the guard. Very nicely done.
Yeah.
Little flop behind the corner. We didn't remove our own at the back. So, well, then I saw a little clip of a podcast that Bobby Doherty and John Cullen, I think, do with, and they had Joanne. They were interviewing Joanne before this event and talking a little bit about playing and stuff. And she was saying that last year, after she had her baby, she never threw a single rock in the whole season. And this year,
that's hard to believe.
Yeah, she went the entire year without throwing a rock, and she also had some television commitments with TSN and stuff.
That's right.
So it just didn't really fit, and she never got out at all. So even though she didn't know she'd be playing something like this year, she was determined not to let that happen again. So she has thrown a few, although I don't think she's thrown as many as we might have thought earlier. But so the outturn freeze now. For second stone to Boo.
Curl. There it goes.
He does finish pretty good in that spot. I've watched the inside-out shots in the last couple games, seen a lot of them, and they do go pretty nicely to the outside. Very nice shot. I don't think she is shot. Kerri's indicating the yellow's still probably shot,
Yeah.
but it's a heck of a good shot. Pretty near impossible to remove.
Yeah, and it's our understanding that Joanne Courtney will be with Team Einarson for the next spiel as well.
Yeah, that's right.
And now that she's out there, she may become a wanted commodity when you need a spare.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's, I think still for her, it's probably still a little bit of family first until you're ready to really make that serious commitment again. But, and beyond that, too, she's going to be with us for the next couple games because we have both their games tomorrow, too. So, not sure we rate that high on the list, but well, we like to think we do sometimes, maybe. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah.
So those are all lined up pretty good. I don't know sure who you figure has the advantage here, but certainly Kayla MacMillan can be shot rock after this and maybe sit two if she can get a little roll off of it. But then the same situation is going to be there for Kerri Einarson as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think, she probably, Team MacMillan is probably looking at moving and reshuffling the deck here a little bit and rearranging that furniture. They're lined up, as you say, to probably get shot, but I'm not sure she wants to, make a big play in this area right now. But I think she does have to unlock the back one.
Yeah, so Sarah Daniels is going to have a little chat with Kayla MacMillan about it. Try to figure out what's the best here. This is a tough one. They don't really line up quite as good as you might like.
No, they don't.
No. Only because on the next shot you could very easily leave a pretty simple double as well. For this shot's pretty easy to make and get rid of it, but get rid of the back yellow. And even if you make a roll, where will you roll to? So,
well, I think, if you could roll inside, that would be probably a good outcome. You are going to unlock the yellow one, but at the same time, you're probably just going to push the yellow rock that's just been thrown, toward the center line, and as we know, there's a guard already there.
Yeah, I think if you could, I don't know for sure, but I think if you could just hit maybe a quarter of this rock, so when you roll off it, you actually go forward a little bit, so you don't just sit right there where Kerri could make the double and sit couple by the time she's done. That wouldn't be a bad result. Let's see what happens. It's got to curl a long way yet to do anything.
It really does. There it goes.
Coming in. She went at this just with a tap weight. Wasn't really even a... I don't know that worked out all that good, though, Terry.
Yes, I'm not sure either. I mean, she may now have made red shot, which I'm going to guess based on what I can see. Reddish now shot.
I think you're right, but I think if you hit this red a little bit... Oh, she's going to hit it on the inside. I thought if you hit a little bit on the outside, I think you could make both reds go away, possibly. Have to have another look at it in a minute if we can get it the overhead again for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're ready to go here, so Val Sweeting. It's going to make contact with the top one anyway, and we'll see where it goes after that. I thought Kerri looked like she wanted to hit it and flop inside.
Definitely looks like she's throwing a hit, and she in out of that.
She does that a little bit on that out turn, her out turn.
Red still remains. Looks like she's throwing a hit, and she in out of that.
She does that a little bit on that out turn, her out turn. that could have changed. We don't see every second of what goes on. So the call here from MacMillan, I imagine, is just another case of just rearranging them a little bit, Terry. And
Yeah,
maybe
I mean, so I'm not 100% sure what she called, but again, I think yeah, you just got to unlock that back one.
this one's got to curl quite a bit yet. Gonna get by that, but can't
Oh,
buy everything.
that's not.
Yeah, I don't know if it was overthrown or if the ice was wrong, but I have to believe maybe a little bit overthrown.
I would tend to agree with you, Jim. I don't we don't know what the actual call was. This is somewhat interesting, I think, given that they both agreed, both skips kind of acknowledged that red was shot. Kerri choosing to draw around. That's center guard, which is a MacMillan rock.
Yeah. She doesn't have a lot she can work with on the other side, though. She makes
That's
any
right.
contact with those rocks that are lined up, and red's going to definitely sit shot when she's done. She just threw a nice draw on the first end, so she's got a pretty good feel for that. She's going pretty hard on this. This be there for weight. Didn't quite get the curl she was looking for, but not too bad. Kayla MacMillan has to get on the inside of that a little bit.
Do you ever gamble and play the double on the two yellows? And when I say play the double, I mean play the double off the pile one.
Yeah. Yeah, the yellow, the high yellow is probably going to stay in contact.
Oh, it definitely is staying, yeah.
But still, it does put you in a position where you could be sitting 2 when you're done. And that may be what they're looking at. Certainly looks like that'd be the ice you would consider for that shot.
I don't know if you can sit 2.
Yeah,
but I definitely think you know you could be sitting 1-3. And
depending
you
on how
have
much
you have that fighter back in the 12-foot. I guess it's not a fighter, but it could come into play.
Yeah, it could. It would take a little bit of good fortune for that one, but I think
Sure.
when I'm thinking you might sit 2, it's just a matter of the red that's in the middle between the yellows. If it goes straight back and just jams and doesn't kick off of that at all, you might be able to sit 2. But if it does kick a little bit to the outside, you're probably only going to sit 1. But let's see how she does on it. First of all, she's got to hit it in the right place and
That's right.
see how it goes here.
I think she'd prefer to make sure she makes that double.
Yeah. Nice delivery. Wrap weight shot. This one's got a curl.
Close.
Yeah, really close.
Oh, it goes underneath.
Yeah, got everything but the rocks you were trying to hit
Yeah,
and get rid of.
that was the danger of playing that shot.
Yeah. I can't really say that I expected that as a possibility. This one's got a curl.
Close.
Yeah, really close.
Oh, it goes underneath.
Yeah, got everything but the rocks you were trying to hit. Well, a bit of trouble now for Kayla.
Yeah, again, we're kind of having a little bit of a deja vu in the from the first end, where all of a sudden, you know, now with 1 rock each to come, advantage is definitely with yellow and Kerri Einarson.
Yeah, definitely turned around there. And somewhat, quite unexpected, I would say. So Kerri's going to go probably, I'm guessing, top of the 8-foot here, bite the 8-foot, something like that. Or she maybe even try to be a little shorter than that, possibly.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's. Well, we would have to see the different camera angle, but I don't think that double's there.
No, I
The one
agree.
that she just played.
Yeah. Kerri Einarson. The Gimli, Manitoba. The out-turn draw. Pretty good setup for Kerri right now.
And she just threw this.
Sneak it by the guard.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, very nicely done.
Well, that double is still there, I guess. I thought it was more underneath, but
Well, it helped a little bit that she just bumped it up a couple inches, but it's not going to play anyway. Kayla's going to play the draw. Very tough draw here in the.
it really is, yes.
There's a lot of rocks that aren't in play really for making this draw, but you're going to see them all when you go down to throw, and sometimes they all feel like they're in the way. Like when you look at the path the rock has to take, it really does have to miss all those rocks, even if they weren't there, if you know what I mean. So
Yeah, no, I do know what you mean, because I've sat in the hack. When I left, it looked like a routine shot. When I got down to the other end, I was like, there's a lot of rocks here that
that's
are
right.
in my visual path, and now all of a sudden that shot that looked pretty routine doesn't look routine anymore.
Yeah, I know, especially when they're all not your color. So, which is what the case for Kayla MacMillan is here. She's looking at 3 yellows, a couple of which are pretty close to the center. So we'll see how she goes here. She's got sweepers. DeBay, I've just been told it's DeBay, not DeBoo. So DeBay and Loken at the front end and sweeping this. I think the weight looks pretty good, at least judging by the sweepers' reactions, it looks pretty good. You got to get by, and you got to get there. The girls are going.
That is one hell of a draw.
Great shot by Kayla MacMillan. Puts it on the hole in the second end. So both skips are. This one's good. I think the weight looks pretty good, at least judging by the sweepers' reactions, it looks pretty good. You got to get by, and you got to get there. The girls are going.
That is one hell of a draw.
Great shot by Kayla MacMillan. Puts it on the hole in the second end. Prix.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
So third end action now in our game here between Kayla MacMillan and Kerri Einarson in a 1-1 tie which could either be a really defensive struggle or it could not. And I would say we're the latter in this one. Terry, we started out looking like we're going to have a couple of defensive type ends, and they just never went that way.
No, and both skips have bailed their team out with fantastic draws with the skip last stone, and as you say, we're knotted up 1-1.
Yeah.
Einarson has the hammer, and it's the third end here, and it'll be interesting to see, the way the first 4 rocks, or I guess 5 rocks, get played out. Often dictated by the placement of the where the opposition stone is.
So Einarson tried to come around, didn't quite bury, and went just a little tiny bit deep, and MacMillan's going to try to remove that. I guess she was not playing it that hard. A little bit tough to tell when it was the picture was just jerking along a little bit there, and couldn't tell the weight, but worked out pretty nice shot for Kayla MacMillan's squad.
I think they'd be satisfied with that. Yes.
Yeah. And everybody, all these games, you can find all these games on Curling Stadium Edmonton on YouTube, Curling's own YouTube channel, where we'd ask you to like and subscribe to the channel. It's a great opportunity to have a lot of curling games at your instant touch, really. Same shot now that we just played a couple of times. A little different view. That was kind of nice for a change. This one's got to curl a little bit more, though. I don't think it's going to quite get... yeah, pretty close.
I actually like these kind of ends because, I mean, at some point somebody's got to make a move, and with a lot of rocks in play, and if you don't, hit rocks the way you intended, the outcome can, you feel like you can get an advantage, and if you just don't hit the rock in the right place, all of a sudden what you believe was an advantage turns into a disaster.
Absolutely.
Especially, when you have those rocks that are kind of touching, and you get the drag effect.
Yeah. So second stone now, Lindsay Dubé. I thank one of our viewers for writing that in the chat, so I learn how to say it.
Yes, we welcome those comments in the chat. We're far from perfect.
No, we need to spend a little time, create our own little, what would you call it? Little, not dictionary exactly, but sort of a phonetic.
Yes, you're absolutely right.
So they may not look the same on the screen as what they look when you write their names down, but they sound a lot better. So.
That's right.
Whoa, just ticking the guard.
Yeah.
So I had a little bit of a rough start to this one. Just a couple of things not going quite the way she'd like them to go. Kayla MacMillan's now going to throw a guard.
I don't think Kerri Einarson's going to run down and tell Joanne that she needs to do a little bit more practicing if she wants to play next week.
Yeah. Yeah. I would think that would not be a good idea. Been a tough year for the Einarson team. I mean, you can just picture trying to get through this year at this level with basically 1 or 2 spares every single week. You don't even know who they're going to be all the time, and it's not like you were able to just pick somebody up that would say, "Yeah, I can play till whenever Brianna comes back, or till Shannon comes back." It was just trying to mix and match, and like she said in a little interview I saw the other day, so we just take it a weekend at a time, and we'll figure out next week. So, kind of the way you got to do it. That guard's pretty long, not quite as useful as it could be, but Kerri's definitely got a little bit of a challenge here to turn this into ring.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think Kerri needs to run that front peel that front guard out of play and give the house back to Kayla MacMillan and see what she does.
Nice peel there.
Yep.
We're going to throw the guard up again. Probably try to be.
Kayla's asked for a repeat, rinse and wash, repeat. May not get as tight to the rings as she had hoped.
No, looks to be pretty good. Let's see now, yeah, more or less the same spot. Kerri's going to run out, peel it off again. Rocks seem to line up a little bit better for MacMillan right now than they do for Einarson. Einarson, I got to keep playing that the right way, but now Sweeting. One of not too many left-handers this weekend. Some weekends we have all kinds of left-handers. This time we don't seem to have quite as many. Of course, we've only done a couple games, so good shot for Val. Interesting. I don't know that you'd change this up at all, would you? I seem to be pretty good where it's ended up, and
like I said, this is where it gets really interesting because, especially if you don't like the alignment here,
yeah. We're
and
gonna
you
have a
wanna
whole
make a move,
team
but-
at it right now. Yeah. Well, she doesn't have hammer. MacMillan doesn't
I
have
know.
hammer, so it's like I think you got to be a little careful what you're going to do here.
Yes.
And I don't know that I can see what she's thinking here. If you hit this really hard at just off center on the outside, you may get both yellows and you might get a red, but a lot of mites. I don't like functioning too much in that mite category. Well, a couple ends ago, we thought we knew exactly where rocks were going to go, and we didn't even get that one right. So
Yeah.
neither did they, but I guess the trouble with throwing the guard here is trying to figure out where do you put it to prevent Kerri from
Yeah.
it's she could come down and tap, but I don't know. I think if you're guarding that red one right by her broom, then you're probably pretty safe.
Well, I mean, I guess for her, she's trying to figure out if you hit the high red one on the nose, that drives. Kerri could drive that onto the yellow, which would spill the red rock, and it may not remove the yellow rock.
You're right. Yeah, it may not. So it's a tough call. I think she seemed to be pretty firm on where she wanted this to go, and that was kind of right on top of the rock in the house. So I think that's what they probably decided on.
I don't mind this call. I mean, the Vice's first rock.
Yeah, Sarah Daniels. And you go right in on top of the yellow. Not quite there.
Not quite there.
Kerri's going to try to get a bunch moving here. She wants weight somewhere up over her head. That's usually a peel.
You can definitely make 2 reds go, and if that red one clips the yellow one on the top of the forefoot on the way by, it'll spring the other red rock.
Yeah, you could be sitting really good after this. I don't know that things should go horribly wrong, but
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
that's pretty good. The forefoot on the way by, it'll spring the other red rock.
Yeah, you could be sitting really good after this. I don't know that things should go horribly wrong, but
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
that's pretty good. Yeah, that's where it would be fun to play with a telestrator on those shots. Sometimes talking them through, I mean, it's difficult because you're talking about the yellow rock. Well, there's 3 of them, Terry. Which yellow rock were you referring to?
Yeah.
Now, I want to know really what she's playing. Is she trying the double here?
Yeah, I think she's running the front one back, trying to make a double. Try and maybe make a triple. Might be able to get them all if you hit it pretty much right on the nose, or pretty darn close to the nose. She could play the out turn through the hole and maybe be able to save and sit a couple, but that would be really tough.
Yeah, that has a high degree of difficulty for sure.
Yeah, and unlike diving, you don't get more points for that.
That's right, yeah. And this isn't without some risk.
Kayla MacMillan throwing heavy weight.
Ooh.
She's only going to get rid of 1 of the yellows. That was just unfortunate. Yeah, you're right, Terry. It did carry some risk. If it curls another half, 3/4 of an inch, she's probably in pretty good shape after that. But
Yeah,
unfortunately now, Einarson going to be drawing to sit 3.
yeah. The thing, I mean, even if she just made the double, which would have been a good shot, I mean, there was always the possibility that red was going to sit 1 in the back of the 8-foot, or the yellow one there that remains in the back 8 was going to be shot rock. I don't remember now how good that rock was in the back 8-foot there.
Yeah, I can't remember either, but there was a chance if you could manage to go through on the out turn
Yes.
and get that out, you could, without touching that, you would sit 2. So whatever that says about it. So Kerri Einarson going to go right around here. Makes this one good. It's going to put a lot of heat on Kayla MacMillan.
Mm-hmm. It looks like it's short.
Well, definitely a break.
A little bit of a break, yeah. She'll be running down to make this one real quick.
Big shot here. You got a chance to, well, you're probably going to get out of real big trouble anyway, but you had a chance maybe to get totally out of trouble if you can make a nice roll here. So, or at least force Einarson to have a really tough shot to get her 2. But you got to bear down. You really need to make a roll here. No hit doesn't really cut it here.
No, I'm certain that she's thinking that she's very fortunate to, have this opportunity to avoid a 3 spot.
Yeah, absolutely. Now the question, can you turn it into maybe a 1 either way?
That's right.
Yeah.
Sweepers have indicated that it's probably a little bit more weight than what was
Yeah.
asked for. The sweepers haven't put a brush to it. Looks pretty nosy to me.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I think a little heavy, and it looked like a slide that she might have been having to help it back a little bit. So not the end of the world, though. A minute ago, it looked like you were going to give up 3. Now you're going to probably give up 2. Kerri can make the hit and stay.
Yeah, she's, I guess, yeah, no, that I was going to say, would they even look at measuring that one on the center line, but it's definitely out. And it's red.
Yeah, it wouldn't matter at the end of the day either way.
That's my late night humor.
Yeah, I got you. Kerri Einarson with the chance for 2 here. Looks like it's pretty good. Nobody's doing much special here. So a nice throw by Kerri, and she will pick up 2 here in the third end to go up by a score of 3-1 over Kayla MacMillan of Victoria, BC. We'll be back after the break.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
For over 20 years, the Sandra Schmirler Foundation has granted more than $9 million to hospitals across Canada for life-saving equipment for premature and critically ill babies. In the past 4 years alone, $4 million has been granted thanks to the curling community's incredible generosity. The need continues year-round, and with your help, we can ensure every baby has the chance to grow up and become a champion, just like Sandra.
Join us this March for the House of Hearts Charity Bonspiel in Duluth, Minnesota. Help raise funds for Project Joy, who provides meals for hungry kids in our community. Every donation helps to ensure no child goes hungry. Join us and make a difference. Together, we can spread.
And we're back here in the 4th end of this game. We're in the 4th draw of the Saville Grand Prix in Edmonton, Alberta, at the Saville Center, where Kerri Einarson leads 3-1 over Kayla MacMillan of BC. It's been a pretty clean game so far. It's been usually each end, one team plays well. Last end, both teams had it going okay, and Kerri managed to turn around and got her deuce.
Yeah, Val made a great shot to set that end up for the possible 3, and unfortunately, they could only get 2 out of it.
Yeah. So, Kristen Karwacki, playing the draw. And the tight guard, I guess, after drawing into the 4-foot on her first shot. Didn't quite get to that center line. Talk about that a lot. Hardly ever see anybody play a tick shot either way, so not really a big deal. But it has stopped people from playing some kinds of shots, because at the risk, you just can't afford to have your rock come off and theirs go back. So
Yeah, I don't think many teams would want to play 7 rocks to their 8.
no. Sarah Loken. Their second one here in the 4th end.
Really positive rotation.
And still curling hard.
Yeah.
It's a little light, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just need a little more oomph on it. Kerri's looking to guard that red. You can see her tap the red rock. That's just an indicator to let her team know we're guarding this one, not the other one, just so when you're sweeping, keep that in mind.
Mm-hmm.
Joanne Courtney. This week's Spare of the Week for Team Einarson. It's going to work out just about right for what Kerri wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Well done. Kerri's going to try to open it up here a little bit. I don't even know how much she's trying to open it up as much as she's trying to get that rock off the top of the button.
Yeah.
Great shot. Terrific shot by
Yes.
Second Stone Lindsay DeBay.
Yeah.
Great shot. Terrific shot by both rocks out front now belong to the MacMillan team. One of them behind another rock, but still there are MacMillan stones at least. Get by and does.
Yeah, Joanne says it's just like riding a bike.
Yeah.
Now, while everybody in the East is likely winding down and getting ready for bed, our viewers are probably mostly from the Mountain Time Zone time. We have 330 people watching right now. That's a good sized crowd.
Yeah.
I want to thank you for joining us and in this game and here at the Saville Grand Prix, where Kerri Einarson is playing Kayla MacMillan and leads 3-1.
So Lindsay DeBay is
Hey, yeah.
trying to chip a couple on here, really. Not bad.
Yeah, no, I mean, she certainly has an opportunity here to mix things up and get some rocks on the rings. And right now, I mean, she does control both sides of the center line, I guess. If you can see that red rock on the right side being a control rock.
Yeah. And then was another conversation starter for Val Sweeting and
Yes.
Kerri Einarson. Interesting here. I'm not really sure what they're going to end up playing here. There's
I think if you could walk it down, you know, that might be a good spot, but
yeah. Yeah, sometimes they pick these spots and you look at it and say the only way they can get there is throwing it from the other hack
that's right.
behind them. It's like, well, how are you going to get there?
Yeah,
So they're going to play the out turn, draw around, try to get as much of the forefoot as they can. I don't know.
yeah.
Interesting. I'm not sure if this is the best one or not, but
I mean, I kind of think that the higher up it is, if it's not buried, the better it is for Team MacMillan, because they'll be able to, you know, at least play the slash. But the good news is that if they ever play the slash and make it, they're probably losing their shooter, and which will give Kerri Einarson a opportunity to, you know, draw behind the pile out front again.
yeah.
Be just like starting over. This is really good.
Yeah, a really nice shot by Val Sweeting. Didn't get second shot, I don't believe, but still a very
The pile out front again.
yeah.
Be just like starting over. This is really good.
Yeah, a really nice shot by Val Sweeting. Didn't get second shot, I don't believe, so it's impressive. So a little heavyweight shot here, coming, trying to open something up. Sarah Daniels.
Oh, yeesh.
Wow.
Didn't want that.
No. No, not at all. Trouble with running back the opposition stones.
Sure is.
So Kayla MacMillan in a heap of trouble right now. You're trying to take that, probably try to take that a little bit of the port away and a little bit of the raise away. Try to get a couple things out of this shot. But yeah, almost anywhere she puts it out there is going to make the next shot tough.
You notice how low Val's hand is on that, on the brush there when she throws.
Yeah. I didn't notice, but I can relate to what you're talking about because it's a nice way to square yourself up if you're having a little
Yeah.
trouble with that.
Yeah, it helps a lot. Well, I shouldn't say everybody, but it helps too to keep your shoulders square, I think, as well.
Yeah.
Your rock and your broom hand they're both kind of on parallel.
So Kayla MacMillan looking what to do, calling a timeout.
Calling a timeout. Hey, coach, can you throw this one?
I think she can go through the hole, to be honest, and get to the top one. Go right through the hole. The problem with that is I don't know if you can get anything better than second or possibly only third shot.
Yeah, it's I took away the shorter run back.
Mm-hmm.
This may be a you're all in or you're not shot.
Yeah, I don't know how you're going to skate this.
Yeah.
Looks like Nicholas Adine. So I'm not any further ahead now because I really don't know what they're playing with that particular ice.
I think they're trying to run the yellow into the red into the pocket.
Yeah.
And if I mean, as long as they hit it hot, the red, the yellow high side, it should open it up, and so that you might have both turns. She comes out and
So you
with
think
a
he's
lot of steam.
hitting yellow onto red and driving the red into the pocket? Well,
Yeah, but
switched a little quick. Didn't really quite see where that had to go, but it didn't serve as good a purpose as they'd hoped. But she might, with a little luck here, she will have an out. I'm just not sure how easy it's going to be yet.
well, again, you know, if you take just a piece of that red rock on the right side of the center line as we look at it right now, you'll also be covering a little, well, a majority of the yellow rock too. Yeah, that's not going to leave much for Kayla MacMillan to see and remove those rocks.
No, going to be really tough.
Yeah.
Kerri Einarson.
Once that run back took care of the red stone in the house on the 4-foot, this has turned into kind of a mini disaster so far.
Yeah, this one looks pretty good for Einarson.
Perfect.
Yeah, guards the red. And
You-
really, even though there's still this, you talked about the hole a minute ago, and I think the hole is still there. I think you can get to that rock. The problem is you can't probably get shot, and you might not get second shot. So you've got to at least get second shot on this.
Yeah, I think you're running in red ones now.
Yeah. I don't know if that's any better. Just trying to figure out what you would run here. That's the shot that I was just talking about.
Yep.
Yeah, I was talking, but so if you look at the red ones that are out there and you say, well, if we run back the one just on the right of the center line, it's hard to get it. You might get it to that back rock, but that's really, really hard.
Yeah, I think the one on the left is probably the one you would have to run in. But again, I mean, you have to hit it. You're driving the rock in, so I don't know if you could even throw the in turn. You'd probably have to throw the out turn, cross over the red and drive it in that way. But it's no matter what she plays, nothing's going to be easy.
No. Part of me says the yellow-red race, yellow on red, and getting the red going back into the top two yellows is probably going to be your best out. I don't know.
Yeah.
So still looking at the idea of tapping that back. And is she looking at going red? Raise that red one on it. Maybe that's what it is, red slash.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like she is.
But I mean, I suppose she could play the intern.
Yeah, I think it'll be coming hard now. She get away with either turn, to be honest. But
yeah, I know they talked about potentially playing that almost the same shot, the yellow into the red, and clearing up a little bit more of the front. Yeah. But that yellow rock is going to end up, probably covering, the edge of the 4, and I don't know if your shooter's going to roll much further because of that red rock that's going to prevent it from rolling off. So you're probably going to be left with, a similar outcome. You might want to, consider this your best attempt. But I'm sure visually that doesn't sit well with her eye. But like you said, coming through the hole that's not going to get you first or second shot, I don't believe, unless you somehow roll. This is the shot I was talking about.
Yeah, this is the one I was describing earlier too, where I feel like it's your kind of your best opportunity, maybe because it lines up. You know, you could hit it on the back yellow or the left hand yellow, and bounce off towards the button. None of them are any good as far as I'm concerned, but you got to play one of them.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. And I think somewhat being facetious, but the best outcome would the yellow that she's trying to hit and the red one she's driving in, open the play up enough that she will have something on her last one. Because I mean, Kerri can't throw a rock down there and cover everything. So
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I think she needs to hit this.
Yeah, she
About a
needs to get
quarter
more
of
than
a
just the
rock.
guard. Yeah, she needs to get more than just the guard out of this one.
Yeah,
It's the top guard.
yeah.
I never like it when they don't sweep at all. It doesn't tell me good things.
Yeah. You really needed to, remove that red one that's closest.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. It's almost all you had to approach that shot. Really, was just like it. Those were the only two rocks, and you just had to drive the top one onto the back one, and yeah.
Yeah, I'd really like to be yellow here.
Yes, yes. The hard part here too is that Kerri can throw a guard here that just shoves Kayla out into the path where that rock is guarding the path, the draw path, where the red rock's guarding the draw path. It's almost guarding it now. And I think if she puts one anywhere to the right of that center line, she's going to push her right out where I don't know what she's going to play for a shot unless she plays another run back.
Well, I think Kayla's hoping that she has that red run back available to her.
Yeah. Let's see where this one looks like it's going to go right in.
Well, you know what? I don't mind saying this. There's almost a quad there.
Yeah. So a really tough shot for Kayla MacMillan here in the fourth end.
She looks like she's playing the run back.
Yeah. Good news is it's definitely possible, but man, it's hard. We can make it really out here too really easily.
Like, you have to skinny that top one that's on the top four.
Yeah.
To ensure that you hit the one beside the broom so that she can roll into the center. I think I would be playing the nose hit on the one that Kerri just threw.
Yeah, and try to make at least three of them go away.
Yep.
Yeah, we keep you in the game maybe. Because this one's, if you don't make this one, it's not going to keep you in the game. It's
close, but it's going to hit, yeah. Still a score of 2.
Throw too much. Yeah, and try to make at least three of them go away.
Yep.
Yeah, we keep you in the game maybe. Because this one's, if you don't make this one, it's not going to keep you in the game. It's
close, but it's going to hit, yeah. Still a score of 2.
Throw too much. Go up 5-1 as we go to the 5th.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
Everything I've worked for, everything I've sacrificed, has led to this. It's out of your hands now. All the gold medals in the world can't help you now. You could throw the perfect rock and still miss, but it just takes one. You leave it all out there on the ice to leave behind a legacy.
This is it. It all comes down to this rock. The hours in the gym, the weeks away from my family. This is what I've been training for. And all those voices trying to tear me down, I'm here to silence them. We've given everything we have for a chance to get everything we want.
So we are back for fifth end action. Kayla MacMillan from Victoria, BC, in trouble in this one, down 5-1 after 4 ends of play. Needs to kind of find a way to score a couple points in this end. Got away from her a little bit the last end. Needs Sarah Loken. Throwing up a corner here. Probably going to need 1 or 2 corners at least to get herself in a position for a deuce. That's a nice corner guard there by Sarah. 2 Sarahs on this team.
I just felt like Team MacMillan was in trouble that whole end.
Yeah, they were chasing it pretty hard, really, never really getting into a good position. There were a few opportunities, but they were really difficult opportunities, so.
Yeah, unfortunately for her.
Yeah. Kristen Karwacki now will throw her second one. This one will be trying to put this right in the house. It's got a lot of way to curl as well. Moving in. Not too bad. Looking for a little more curl than that, but that's not too bad. Kayla MacMillan going to the second corner. Split corners, whatever the right word is for that now. The way we always used to throw corners. Try to even them up. Doesn't take much to get back in it. You really just got to string a bunch of good shots together and start by having a couple corner guards to work with, and no reason why you can't pick up a couple in this end. Definitely needs it. She can't really afford to just get one. Not enough ends left to play.
Yeah, so, rock placement's been an issue a little bit here as
absolutely, yeah.
Team MacMillan tries to generate some offense. A little shout out to Tim from Abbotsford.
Not sure where Abbotsford is, other than knowing it's in BC. But
it's in BC. I was almost gonna say the same thing, Jim.
Yeah, it's. I do know. No matter where it is, it's about as far away you can get from where I am. So.
That's right, eh?
Yeah, Joanne Courtney. Kerri Einarson is not able to remove those corner guards yet. If you're thinking, you're surprised that she's not getting rid of something. She's still one shot away from being able to do that. And we'll split. I think that really did much to affect Kayla's situation here. Might have even improved it ever so slightly if she can get something behind a corner and get something It's where the game gets really hard until you get a lot of experience, especially in the house, and understanding, what can work and what can't work. And it still doesn't always work for you, but there's definitely a best way and a better way, I guess, to rock placement in these kinds of ends. And at the end of the day, usually it means that you got a couple in there, but you're going to have to do something really wonderful at the end to make them count. But the first trick is getting them there.
Yes.
Lindsay Dubé. It's a nice looking shot.
Yep.
Dandy shot by Lindsay.
Yeah, very nice. I mean, all I know about Abbotsford is that it can't be that far from Vancouver.
Okay. Is there a reason for that, or just because you just said
just because I know I have a friend who flew into Vancouver and then he went to Abbotsford, and it's gotta be close.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
What a great shot here.
Yeah, really nice shot. I was a little bit surprised she played that. I thought she would just peel that corner guard off with a 5-1 lead rather than fool around with that. But
I did too. I thought that was the most defensive shot to play, and up 5-1, I thought she'd play very defensively.
Yeah. Kayla's gonna move this yellow one. I'm not really sure where she wants to go. She's stirring the pot back there, but I don't know what that means. I think the way she first indicated she'd like to hit this maybe on the inside and roll behind the center one, and maybe make a double that way. But I think it's easier to hit it on the other side and roll behind the corner, which it's kind of a couple of rocks there to roll behind. So
yeah.
But that's not the way she's going, I don't think. So we'll see here in a second.
Yeah. Just so you know, Jim, JT tells us it's about an hour. Vancouver's about an hour from Abbotsford.
Okay, and they missed the read on this one. They missed oh no, they got it pretty good. I thought it was going to roll too far.
Yeah, good shot.
Thanks, JT.
Yes, thank you, sir.
Wonder if that's east or west of Vancouver, because from where I am,
it would have to be south, I think.
Yeah, that'd probably be the difference between, I don't know, 67 hours driving and 68 hours driving or something like that. Al Sweeting throwing her out turn. Gonna try to remove that one. Run back. She's not going to quite make it. Take her own out. Take all of her own out.
A bunch of them out.
Yeah, she did leave 67 hours driving and 68 hours driving or something like that. Al Sweeting throwing her out turn. Gonna try to remove that one. Run back. She's not going to quite make it. Take her own out. Take all of her own out.
A bunch of them out.
Yeah. Overall, actually a positive result in that shot.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. I mean, those rocks, I think, were helping MacMillan behind the tee line, and I'm sure Einarson is not shedding any tears over those being gone.
Nope. So an opportunity now for Kayla to set up a possible 2. Just snuck by, but it's a little bit heavy. They're going to stop okay, and I think it will. Nice shot. Boy, I tell you, they knew how it was going to take to get it by, because they let her go by just about nothing. Went a little too deep, unfortunately, or not deep enough. One of the two. Because the double's definitely there for Kerri Einarson, if she chooses to go after it. Doesn't really look like ice for the double to me, but it might stay straight enough. Or they might be able to bring it back is the other option. really close. Great shot for Val Sweeting. As you mentioned earlier too, Terry, a couple times, I think the rock placement is so important. And, you know, they made a great come around the corner guard, but it had to be even that little bit better than that because it had to not set up that double. Sarah Daniels now will come around the corner again. Try to get one in there that Einarson can't get. She's got to curl a little bit more. We'll break pretty hard in here. Both girls have to go. T-line doesn't really matter at this point. Pretty good effort.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's where the game, I think, in my mind, has really evolved. Like outside of technology, and I mean, I can remember gluing a slider on, and it was 1/16 of an inch, and now you have a 1/4 inch super sliders, but I mean, that's where the game's really evolved. I think at the younger age groups is, when we were curling and learning the game, you didn't really worry about rock placement as much because the ice was so much heavier, and making those cross ice doubles, I mean, you just didn't make them really. And, but now with the technology and the fitness levels of all these curlers, I mean, you just have to be so precise where you want the rock.
Yeah. Joanne Courtney going hard on this, and just rub the guard. And I don't think if she can't get it by that, then nobody's going to get it by that. So Kayla MacMillan now will split the house, try to go around this one. If you can get this one buried in there good, you will force Einarson to try the exact same shot she just did. Trying to think of a way to make this a little bit tougher. There's really...
I don't think there is a way.
No, I don't think so either. You'd have to go... The only way you could possibly do it at all would be to go around there again and try to maybe over curl the red a little bit. Sit number 2. Kind of just almost on the other side of the red. Just to give her something to think about. But anyway, not way too hard and way too much perfect. It has to be way too perfect. And you're probably going to end up getting 1 instead of 2 even at that point. So you got to get your deuce here.
Yeah, and I mean, ideally, she gets it. I would say, I mean, you can beat T-line here.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. As long as you're buried here, Kerri's going to hit the open one. You just don't want to be behind it, so there's no double here is all.
Yeah. I mean, I think if you're T-line, I mean, it may look like there's a double, and you never know. Up 5-1, you may take it on, and get a miss. This looks really good if it's heavy enough. Oh, she didn't get it there. Jeez, that's unfortunate.
That's really unfortunate, yeah. It's hard to tell. It looked like it was going to get there.
Yeah, Kerri just tapped. Let's play for the role. But I mean, I think at the end of the day, she would be happy to just hit and make that go away, and let Kayla potentially play that hit on the wide in turn for 2.
Yeah.
Rock is on the way. Joanne's rushing pretty hard there. Oh, great shot.
Yeah, and just got by tight enough that she didn't leave a double on the yellows. I don't think so.
No, she didn't.
Well, it's going to be painful to draw for one here. I know that.
I know.
And she knows it too. She's looking hard, trying to figure out if there's some way that she can turn this into 2.
I was just going to say, you can look all you want. Those rocks aren't moving.
Yeah. Yeah. The only way you're getting 2 right now, I think, is if you ever wanted to run the red back and make the double on the yellows, but that'd be 1 in 1,000.
You know what? I mean, good on her for just even seeing this shot.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, it is there, but you would have to throw it with a fair bit of weight.
Yeah. Yeah, you do, and then you gotta hit it thin enough to get inside the other yellow or just on the other yellow, but
because it does probably spin and go, not straight back, but pretty close.
Yeah.
She's
I
gonna
wouldn't
give
be
it a
against
whirl.
playing this shot, to be honest. If I thought it had a reasonable chance of success, I would give this one some serious thought versus the straight draw for 1.
Mm-hmm.
With the score the way it is, and knowing that I only have 3 ends left after this. So even if I get 1, I've got to basically steal, and steal an extra end, or unless I steal 2, obviously. But
Well, like I say, credit to her for even seeing this, and
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not sure that the red one will stay in the rings, given how I think how much weight she has to throw to get that rock to come across the ice or across the center line and push that yellow one. But I like the imagination, and and I'm rooting for her. That's for sure.
yeah,
And nobody on her team is lying in front of the stone and not letting her throw it. So
no, that indicates they're at least kind of on board for it. So that's good to see too. Not sure
have to
exactly.
go hard.
Yeah, it's gonna be close, I think. Well, too bad. Had to hit a little thinner.
Mm-hmm.
That was just really hard. I don't even know for sure if it was there. It looked like it was.
Yeah, I'm not sure it was, because I mean, on one look, it looked like the red one was just a little bit lower than the yellow one, but that's a game.
Yeah, with Einarson picking up 2 more points, take a 7-1 lead. Kayla MacMillan thinks it's time to go home and try again tomorrow.
Yes.
So Einarson moves on, and she moves up to 2-0. As we mentioned, this is a pool type play down. Not exactly sure how many games they play because they have mismatched number of pool or numbers in the pool. We'll try to get that straight and let you know that tomorrow as far as playoffs and whatnot go. But in the meantime, encourage you to take in whatever games you can take in at Curling Stadium Edmonton, as we will have all the games here for you all week long, all weekend long, and look forward to the draws tomorrow. So Terry, we're going to get to bed a little bit earlier than we thought.
That's right.
Appreciate the effort today, and if you got anything you want to add here, time to do it.
I'll just say good night and thank you to all our viewers for joining with us, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, thanks to you, Terry. Thanks to Jaiden. Jaiden doing our production for us, and did a great job for the first crack at it, or early on, at least in his production career. And thanks, Jerry, for being managing Curling Zone and looking after us and putting all this stuff on the air. And we will see you tomorrow. Jim Nix, good night.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.